thanks for watching. Today I'm going to do a how-to video and show you how I cut ceiling tiles, suspended ceiling tiles, to fit something other than the standard 2 foot by 2 foot square. If you haven't done it before, there's a couple of tricks that I can show you that will help you along your installation. I'm not a professional contractor, I'm just a dad and a do-it-yourselfer, and we're finishing off my kids' 600 square foot playroom basement. We've already done the walls, and the last things we got to do is the ceiling tile. So let me show you what we're going to do. Looking up, we have our standard ceiling tile grid already suspended. I'm just replacing old tiles. So right here is a 2 by 2. Let me focus. 2 by 2, 2 by 2, 2. So all in the center are standard. But along the edges, you'll need to trim to get the right fit. Now the style I chose is what they call a beveled edge. So this is the part that's going to hang out beneath the aluminum suspended ceiling guides. This part is beveled. They make tools that you can use to cut this. You can get those for $14 or $15, but those don't always give you the neatest cut, and if you don't get this really clean and neat, it's going to show up. So what you're really going to need is a flat surface to cut your ceiling tiles on, and you really need a sharp knife. Just a Stanley knife or a regular knife like this will do, but be prepared to replace the blade, every 5 or 6 tiles. And I'm going to show you a couple little math tricks that are going to work out to your advantage to follow. So let's get to work. The first thing I'm going to do is measure the space between the supports, the inside space. And I get that to be 19 and a half inches. So 19 and a half, we're going to remember that. Okay, I've got my notebook down here. I just said 19 and a half, but for our math to work out, we're going to do everything in sixteenths. So 19 and a half is 19 and 8 sixteenths. 19 and 8 sixteenths of an inch. To give ourselves a little bit of slop, because we don't want it right against the edges of that frame, we're going to subtract 2 sixteenths of an inch, or an eighth of an inch, but in sixteenths, that's 2 sixteenths. So our first cut, our first number that we care about is 19 and 6 sixteenths. That'll be the inside cut. The second cut, I'm going to put a number 2 there because that's the second cut we're going to do. Then, to have that little lip on the edge of the beveled edge, we're going to add 15 sixteenths of an inch to this. So plus 15 sixteenths equals 20 and 5 sixteenths. That's the outside cut. So two numbers that we care about, 20 and 5 sixteenths and 19 and 6 sixteenths. Okay, some other tips. When you're working with these tiles, you're going to want to have clean hands. It's kind of obvious, but a fingerprint will show up on this. And we just did our math. Let me grab this. And we're showing that our first cut, number 1, that's our second bit of math, is 20 and 5 sixteenths. So I'm just going to measure from the outside edge. I'm going to do it right at the edge, 20 and 5 sixteenths, make a tiny little slit at the edge. 20 and 5 sixteenths. One right there. Same thing on the other side. 20 and 5 sixteenths. Okay, I've got those two cuts, and you can use a drywall T-square, but I'm just using my 48-inch aluminum level, and I'm going to lay that between those two slits I just made. And because this is the bigger cut, we're going to cut all the way through to get rid of this, trim this excess off. So I'll extend my very sharp knife all the way out, and holding this firmly in place, not too hard, you don't want to crush it, we'll just drag it across. And now I'm simply going to snap it off. Turn it on the side. There's the excess that we don't need. Now to do the second cut, which is the 19 and 6 sixteenths. That's going to be the part in the middle of the grid that hangs down. I'm going to measure again, but this time I'm going to measure from the inside the finished piece. So we'll measure on the inside 19 6/16, and then I'll make a cut again. 19 6/16. Make a little slit to mark it. Same thing on the other side. 19 6/16. I've got the two marks in. Now this one you want to be as careful as you can be. With an adjustable blade, you're going to retract it a little bit so you're not cutting all the way through because you just want that beveled edge. And what I do with my level here is I lay it on an angle like this. One part on the board, one part up on the ceiling tile. And I want to kind of duplicate the little angled bevel that they have along the factory made edges. So this angle helps me give me room so I can adjust the knife and get that kind of angle. So we're going to cut that. I'll try not to block the view with my body, but this one I'm going to be really careful with because I want a clean line. Okay, there we go. This is only cut about halfway deep, so now I'm going to turn it on its side, and on this board's edge, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, I'm going to lay my knife flat on its side and drag it along. The width of this is about the width of the bevel, and I'll drag that off. But first I'm going to make one more run on this. Okay, and now, laying it on its side, pull this across, and this will be my shallow cut. And then this will be the excess that comes off. You got to make a mess doing this. You just want to keep the edge as clean as you can. Pull that out. Alright, this right there is going to be against the wall. So although it's a little bit of different color, that'll be hidden by the grid that it's supported on. We're going to take this over and put it in place. Always put them in at an angle. Okay. Of course, I wasn't wearing my glasses, so I got some dust in the eye, so I'm going to wipe that out and we'll talk about the fit. Okay, I got the dust out of my eyes, so you probably want to wear glasses when you're looking up with ceiling tile. And you can see it's coming down the edges like it's supposed to be. This adjusts a little bit, it was kicked out a little bit, so it's nice and square. It hangs below the grid like it should. I'm probably due for another blade on my knife, so I'm going to switch blades out right now so I don't have a rough edge. I want a nice clean edge. But real simply, that's the math you use to adjust a beveled edge ceiling tile, and just use a sharp blade, clean hands, and do a little bit of math, and your cuts and your ceiling will come along fine in no time. If you like my videos, hit subscribe, and check back often. I put new ones on all the time. Thanks for watching.